For 20 minutes on a December morning, the people of Halifax stood at their windows and watched a ship burn in the harbor. Not one of them knew they were looking at the largest bomb the world had ever assembled. When it finally let go, it became the most powerful explosion human beings had ever made, and nothing would come close for another 28 years. Halifax, Nova Scotia. In 1917, this cold Atlantic harbor was one of the busiest warports in the world, the gateway where convoys gathered before crossing to Europe. The harbor narrowed to a single throat of water called the Narrows, and everything moving in or out had to pass through it. On the morning of December 6th, a French freighter was waiting to come in. Her name was the Mont-Blanc. In her holds and lashed across her deck sat nearly 3,000 tons of high explosive, TNT, picric acid, gun cotton, and steel drums of benzol fuel. She was a floating bomb, and every man aboard her knew it. Coming the other way, outbound and running late, was a Norwegian relief ship, the Emo, chartered to carry aid to Belgium and moving faster than she should have been. In the narrow channel, their signals crossed. Two captains, two wrong reads of the water. Whistles screamed across the harbor as the ships bore down on each other, neither able to turn in time. At the last moment, the Emo reversed, and her bow ground into the side of the Mont-Blanc, tearing open the deck. The impact threw sparks. The benzol drums split, and fuel caught fire across the forward deck. The French crew knew exactly what was burning above 3,000 tons of explosive. They abandoned ship and rowed for the far shore, shouting warnings that no one on land could understand. Nobody was left to steer her. The burning Mont-Blanc drifted in on the tide and came to rest against Pier 6 at the edge of the city. A burning ship is a spectacle. Word spread along the waterfront and work stopped. In the crowded North End district of Richmond, families pressed to their windows to watch the strange fire and its colored smoke. Children on their way to school stopped in the streets to look up. For 20 minutes the fire burned, and the crowd only grew. Then, at 4 minutes past 9, the ship reached its heart. The Mont-Blanc simply vanished. In an instant, she released the energy of nearly 3 kilotons of TNT. A column of smoke climbed 2 miles into the winter sky. It was the largest man-made explosion in all of history. The shockwave flattened everything within half a mile. The entire district of Richmond ceased to exist. The blast shoved the harbor itself aside, and a wave rose over 15 meters, sweeping the shoreline and erasing a Mi'kmaq community that had stood at Tufts Cove for generations. Windows shattered 60 miles away. The sound carried across the water to Prince Edward Island, more than 200 kilometers distant. Nearly 2,000 people were killed, most of them in a single second. 9,000 more were injured. And the windows they had gathered at turned into the cruelest weapon of the day. The blast wave drove the glass inward like a storm of blades. In one instant, hundreds of people were blinded. But in the 20 seconds before the ship exploded, one man chose to stay and saved hundreds of lives. Vince Coleman was a railway dispatcher. He had already run for safety when he remembered a passenger train inbound from Rockingham, only minutes away. He turned back to his key and tapped out a warning. Hold up the train, ammunition ship on fire, making for Pier 6, and about to explode. Goodbye, boys. The train stopped short of the city. Vince Coleman did not survive. His message did. Then the second disaster began. Overturned stoves in 1,000 broken houses set the wreckage on fire. Soldiers and survivors dug through the ruins in the winter dark, pulling the living out of shattered cellars. And at dawn, the sky turned against them. A blizzard buried the ruined city under heavy snow, trapping the wounded where they lay. Help came from an unexpected direction. The American city of Boston loaded a train with doctors, nurses, and supplies and sent it north through the storm. Halifax never forgot it. Every year since, the city has shipped a giant Christmas tree to Boston in thanks, a living tradition born out of that morning. When the shock passed, someone had to be blamed. Investigators mapped the ruined district street by street. The first inquiry condemned the Mont-Blanc's captain and pilot. On appeal, the courts ruled that both ships shared the fault. No single villain, only a chain of small mistakes ending in fire. But the strangest part of the story didn't happen in a courtroom. It happened decades later, in secret. As scientists raced to build a new kind of weapon, they needed to know what an enormous blast actually does to a real city. The pressure, the radius, the pattern of destruction. Halifax was the only full-scale example they had. The disaster of 1917 became a grim benchmark for the atomic age, 28 years before the first bomb ever fell. A burning ship, a crowd at the windows, and a wound so precise that the men who would learn to end cities studied it first, to learn their trade.